Today we are talking about the Elite PocketS6. Let's go. Full disclosure, yes, Elite did send me this product. However, they have absolutely no input on this video whatsoever, and they do not get to see this video before it is uploaded. They are seeing at the exact same time that you are. All opinions expressed are 100% true, the good, the bad, the ugly. However, please remember that they are only my opinions. So firstly, because we know money talks, the price. Now the price of this printer comes in at $299. Now I know $299 is on the more expensive side of things, but the leading brand in stencil printers, which I think we all know which brand that is, they set theirs at around $500. So for $299, it comes in very competitive. In the box, you obviously get your PocketS6. It comes with a warranty card and also a user manual for the Elite Stencil. Now the Elite Stencil is the app that you will be using on your iPads. You also get a USB to USB-C type cable and a pretty cool carry case. Now the build quality on this thing is second to none. Although it is a full plastic device, it still feels pretty damn premium. It also comes with a pretty sturdy on and off switch, so if you are traveling, there is no way that it's gonna turn itself on. Now, as stated, this is a wireless product, so it connects wirelessly via Bluetooth to your iPads or your phones, whatever you may be using for your workload. Now I have actually used apps like this in the past, so honestly I wasn't expecting much. I have used the printer in the past which comes with an app like this, and I couldn't even get the wireless printer connected, so I wasn't holding hope. However, I can confirm that the Elite Stencil app works really well. I've only encountered one problem, and that was that when you click on the photo editing option, it just didn't load. But that problem was solved just by closing the app and reopening it. Now when you open the app, you'll be greeted with two options, photo editing and photo splitting. For single pieces, you want to be clicking the photo editing. The photo splitting is for stencils like back pieces where you need to divide the stencil up into 4, 5 or however many stencils you need. But you will click photo editing. Now once you do that, you'll be greeted with paper size. Obviously we want to go for the first one, the 8.5x11, which is standard A4 sizing. We'd click OK, then we'd pick the image that we want, so we'll pick this bear, and then we click done. Then you will be on the photo editing piece where you can size the piece, put it wherever you want it, and Bob's your uncle. Now one of the features that I do love is that you do not have to mirror your image. RIP to all the stencil paper wasted by artists who have not done that. But anyways, let's get to the testing. Now sometimes when you use carbon printers like this, determining it on the paper that you use will determine the quality. So what we're going to do is we are going to test 3 different types of paper. We're going to start with spirit paper, which I'm sure the majority of artists have used before. Then we are going to try Elite's own stencil paper, and then finally we are going to go to Ozar's stencil paper. So firstly, what you need to do is you need to remove the brown piece of onion paper, and then you need to turn it over and you are going to get rid of the orange sheet. So all we're going to do is we're going to rip along that seam. Now once you have the back removed, we are going to turn it round and we are going to start feeding it in, and then you'll notice that it grabs. Once it's grabbed, you're good to go. Then we're going to go back to our app and we are going to click print. Now I will say on the app it will ask you for print density. I just keep it on dark. So now we're trying Elite stencil paper. And now finally onto Oza. So first up is spirit paper. You can see it's an absolutely perfect stencil. It doesn't get much better. Now on to Elite's brand. I don't know what to say, it's the worst stencil of the three, to be honest. And you'd think that Elite's paper, working with Elite's, you know, carbon machine, it'd probably come out the best, but not this time. Now, could it be just a bad run? Certainly, but I'm not going to put it through again, because then if it's had 2 runs, then that's not a fair test. But there is Elite stencil, and then finally onto Oza's stencil. A lot lighter, however, I have used this stencil paper before, and I can tell you that it does stick on skin quite well. Now, the time to print is obviously going to differ depending on the type of stencil that you have. There you have a rough idea for that type of stencil that I've just printed, but if you want to just whip off lines, it's going to be way less. If you want to, you know, put through an actual picture and print that, then you are going to be waiting a little bit longer. If you've ever used a stencil printer from like Alibaba or Amazon, or maybe you still are, you will know just how temperamental those things are. Depending on the amount of detail will depend on how good those actually work. I've printed out stencils with a lot of detail on, and the printer just sounds like, 1, it's gonna blow up when you know, run it through, and 2, it just gets stuck because of the amount of carbon it's trying to transfer. They just dog shit. Not to mention that if you get through that and it doesn't get stuck, and there is a lot of carbon, it transfers too much carbon on, so you have to spend your time getting some tape or a lint roller and just running over the top to get the excess off. It's just a fucking nightmare. It's just horrible. Depending on the stencil that I'm doing, I am genuinely praying that it works. After using this Elite, depending on the paper, I can comfortably say 100% that I will get the stencil that I want every single time. Because let's be honest, there's absolutely nothing worse than a stencil machine not working, your stencil not printing out properly, and your client is just sat there twiddling his thumbs for an hour while you piss around with a stencil. Not with this. No, not with this. Now, I know some of you may be asking which one's better, this one or Oza's. I will say, hands down, by a freaking mile, the Elite one is vastly superior to the Oza one. So if you want to get yourself the Elite, get yourself some money off and use the link in the description. But guys, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out. Muchas love.